Aye. We'll call the meeting to order. I'd make a motion we adopt the agenda as mailed.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Delegation.
No delegation.
No delegation. Correspondence.
Yes, several thank yous. This is from the Harold Hansen, family of Harold Hansen, which is Kathy Camarina. Thank you for the contribution to my dad's memorial fund. We are pleased that ECAT will be able to use the funds to help out the community this Christmas. That's from the Harold Hansen family. This is from Mrs. Paul. Dear board members, thank you for the chamber bucks and mask and Christmas dinner. Your thoughtfulness is very much appreciated. It makes the district steps above other districts. This is from OCHS staff and dear board administrators, thank you for the delicious Christmas meal. We hope you all have a restful and joyful Christmas. Thank you for the chamber certificate and OC face mask. I hope you all have a wonderful, restful Christmas. There are many things to be thankful for as we enter 2021. I sincerely believe along. And this is from Cooks. Thank you very much for the chamber bucks and masks. That was very thoughtful. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And then this is from Mrs. Heward, USD 420 board. Thank you for the many kind gestures during the Christmas season. The chamber bucks, OC Indian mask, and delicious Christmas box lunch were all very much appreciated. USD 420 is a great place with great people and appreciation, Mrs. Heward. Good. There we go. That's all of those.
Treasurer's report.
Okay, treasurer's report. Sliding back, just a few things to note on the first page. We did get on December 2nd some general money, $412,189. We also got from the state of Kansas some flow through that goes right to special ed in the amount of $195,920. That's our flow through. Bounces in, bounces out. Supplemental general money from the county in the amount of $9,093.29. Did receive a little bit of capital outlay in the amount of $3,164. Second page, not a lot on there, a little bit of bond and interest money from the county on the 18th of December. And then some title money from the state. That looked like that was on the 10th. Moving on back, petty cash, we'll need $121.87 in the elementary. And I think that's it for petty cash. Payment of the bills. Page 1, I'll try to get the noteworthy things here. We did have a bus repair, Selly's Auto, and they're down in Lebo. And that was for a turbo replacement in bus 5, which that would be Jeff Pearson's bus on that route. And nothing really outstanding on the rest of that page unless you see something you want to question on. Page 2, going down to about close to the middle of the page, McCoy's Electronics and Supply. That was pretty much the end of the Sparks money from that was distributed, and that would be for we got some things to help us with the live streaming, and we also got some replacement, some of the interactive televisions, and it looks like some supplies at the football field to make that internet so that we can live stream out there and do well. That'd be for lots of stuff. So Midwest Laser Leveling, right, almost identical in the middle of the page. That's the work that we did here just recently to the football field. That was a top dress and seed on there. So that should make a big difference on the field. a little bit down further. We transferred some of the Sparks money to the activity fund because of the losses they've incurred with no revenue.
6,000.
6,000. School resource officer, we make 2 installments of that per year. That's our first installment, and we'll have another one in the summer. Third page, the only thing I saw there was the flow through that we just went over on the treasury report, an amount of $195,920. So those are the bills I see. Addendums. We, on the general, after December, we have 63.29% of the budget remaining, about halfway through. And on the LOB, we have about 85.6% of the budget remaining. Any questions on any of those things, bills, anything? Okay.
I make a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular board meeting of December 9th, 2020, the treasurer's report of December 31st, 2020, the petty cash report refunding $121.87 to elementary school, and payment of bills in the amount of $311,362.89 for January 13th, 2021, and December payroll in the amount of $451,766.74.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Old business, calendar adjustments for the ASD 1116 waiver.
Okay, so these guys met with staff from each building, and what they decided on that with that waiver was to go ahead and apply for the waiver and apply those 3 days to, and I gave you a calendar so you could look at where those days are. Don't get the calendars confused. One of them's this year and one of them's a draft for next year. The draft says draft at the top. This is this year's calendar with the COVID adjustments you can see at the beginning of the year. So what they are looking at for days, and I make sure I say this right, February 3rd, March 3rd, and April 28th. So you can circle those, and they're all on a Wednesday, full days. And we have to do an application, and Jay will sign it. But basically what it says is how do you use that time, and you have to kind of designate the amount of time that you're going to use for staff development, for collaboration, for professional development. So we don't have to send this in until after the fact. We have to send this in by, I think, May 14th. So I think I'm gonna hold off just in case because if we had a snow day on one of those days, we would lose that day. Okay.
So you just need a motion for it?
Yeah, we just need a motion to approve those 3 days as those waiver days and to submit that waiver to KSD.
I'd make the motion to approve February 3rd, March 3rd, and April 28th as professional development days, collaboration days, and submit the KSD waiver application.
Second.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. New business.
Okay, we got 3 resolutions, and I'm just gonna briefly talk about each one if you have a question. When they changed the board elections to November from April, was it in April? That changed the start date for the board to January. So each year in January, we have to make this resolution unless we do our board elections and set these things in the January meeting. We've continued to do that in July, and most people have. So we have to have a resolution to, number 1, for the board meeting date and time to be set in July. That's the first resolution. The second resolution is for the board election to remain in July.
So we
So
need to make these motions one by one.
I would, yeah.
So you want to just start making them now? Then we'll just make the motion to approve the resolution for the board meeting date and time to be set in July.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Then the second motion will be to approve the resolution for the board election to remain in July.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Then you want to talk about the third one?
And then the third one is an extension to the FFCRA, which was the COVID relief days for teachers. The Congress did not extend that past December, which everybody thought they probably would, but they didn't. So it'd be my recommendation to go ahead and extend that just as was for the first semester through the end of the year. So because what that basically says, if somebody has to quarantine, they get those COVID days. It doesn't expand the COVID days, it just extends the act through the end of the year. Does that make sense? Okay.
So I would make a motion, we approve the resolution extending the FFCRA through the end of the 2020-21 school year.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Second, CARES stimulus.
Okay, so we just were notified the other day, and I will learn more about this, but Randy Watson has a Zoom every Thursday, so I'll hear some more about this tomorrow, I'm sure. But it was about the second stimulus for CARES for schools, about 4 times what we got the first time. So it's estimated right now on the chart for our school to be $439,085. So the money can be used much of the same way with a few new things.
So
And
can we use that money for the gym HVAC system?
we could, yes. Yep, would be a good use of CARES stimulus money. We have to have it spent by September 30 of 2023, which is quite a long ways. So,
Part 2 of that, then, these have to be, like, that's air quality. What about we keep talking about the minibus.
you could use it for something like that because you have to spread kids out right now. That minibus is too small for us to get all of our little bitty ones on, the preschool kids, so it would even work for that.
And if we did that, then I know we've been talking about, and I know this is gonna be brought up later, I think, but we've been talking about new seating in the gym. That could not be used for that, however, that would free up the capital outlay money we was gonna use for the
For the
HVAC
HVAC.
system to do the gym seats, so we could get a lot done in 1 year.
Yeah, well, the COVID money could what I had in my mind, what I had in the plan for this summer out of capital outlay was the bus and the HVAC. This is a perfect use for the COVID funds for the HVAC. We're talking somewhere in the $180,000 range for that, somewhere in the $55,000 range for a minibus. Our minibus is shot, we need to replace it one way or the other, whether we use those funds or some capital outlay, we need to replace it. So what that does though, if we can use those funds for that, it frees up the capital outlay that I was gonna use for the HVAC to pay for the bleacher project, which I had slated for next year. What that means though is we would put the painting of the floor off 1 year. And the reason I say that is I can't do all 3 of those things in one summer. There's just no
Oh,
way.
the timing.
I wouldn't think you'd wanna paint the floor, if we know we're getting bleachers, I don't think we'd wanna paint the floor till the bleachers are in anyway.
Right.
Right. I agree.
I've already got a bid to do bleachers. It's right at $192,200.
And that's both sides.
Yes, and it would be another $10,430 to remove the bleachers that are in there. So you're talking about, $202,000, $630, something like that. there might be some differences for that. But that would be we are in high need of replacing our bleachers just for the elderly getting up and down. I've heard about that for so many years, that mechanical is wearing out on the bleachers big time. They're having to get worked all the time.
What would we do with the old bleachers?
I talked to him about that. We'd probably put the lumber on a sealed bid and let people come in and put a bid on it locally if they want to buy it. And the metal, you just put in a dumpster and take it out, and you get to sell it for scrap. So that would be
So
something.
that would reduce that cost some.
Yeah.
So none of the stimulus money would go back to any of the staff?
You can, I don't know that you can use it for salary, but you can use it for, like if you do summer school, you can pay staff and stuff
Well, it was
like
my
that.
understanding that it was highly recommended that it go towards like a one-time stipend towards teachers essentially, or full staff. I thought that was
Heard that.
potentially part of the reason for this.
Whose recommendation was that?
Watson said it at the meeting, or at,
Stipend?
yeah,
I don't know. I
Like a
haven't heard
one-time-
that. It doesn't say that in the list, but I mean, maybe that'll come up and we can find out, but I don't know. I haven't heard that. I'm not saying it.
I mean, if it is that, I mean, to me, that would be something that we could at least give back a little bit to the
There's-
staff. through the year.
There's several things you can use the money for. I've got a list. Those are some items, but a lot of it is for, learning loss, stuff like that.
Can
Teach,
you, just on Friday, will you email it out, just so we have it?
Sure.
You don't have to list them all out, I'm just curious
Yeah.
what they all are.
there's a whole list of
Right,
those things
it's
there.
long.
But those are some of the items that you could use it for.
So for now, we still want, do we have to rebid that HVAC system?
Yes, we need a bid. That's down,
So regardless-
that's down the list though. So that's some of the things though. On number 4, just wanted to update you on where we're at. We still have, we're still using the first round to pay for the first COVID money or CARES money is used for paying salary for the expenses for the year. We gotta be careful. I mean, this money goes out 2023. We don't wanna I don't know that it'd be smart, not knowing where things are going with I don't know if we'll ever get any more money. This gets us down to September of 23. That's 2 years from September that we can spend it, and we don't know what kind of things we're gonna need it for. You can't look into the future.
Right,
Hopefully this vaccine takes care of this and we are out of this mess.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The original CARES is, do we have to spend that, the original, the Sparks was,
The
end
first-
of the month.
the first one I think is 22, September 22.
But we get for sure through the school year,
We'll get through the school year.
yeah, with the
The first,
salaries, with the teacher, extra subs and stuff.
yeah, that should get us through.
Okay,
There's no action to take on item.
No, it's just informational.
no,
We
it's
should
good,
be
thank you.
aware of it. We're ready for 5.
School calendar.
Yeah.
21-22 school calendar.
So there's the draft for next year's calendar. It's just basically identical to what we had this year before we made the adjustments to COVID anyway. So it's just adjusted. We do not, if you want some time to look at that, we don't have to approve that this month. We could approve it next month. Doesn't matter to me one bit. But that pretty much shifts all of the calendar to next year.
And then
I
for,
wouldn't know what the dates were anyway.
so next.
Well, yeah,
The spring break would be the week after state basketball. We
yes,
did it this year.
and they have, the Regent schools have finally aligned those.
Yes, I saw that,
So that spring break is aligned with all the Regent schools. Like,
good.
finally, somebody did that.
So does anybody wanna look this over, or do you wanna make a
I mean,
motion
I don't
on
have
it?
any reason to,
It's essentially the same as this
It's
year.
the
I
same
wouldn't
calendar.
know what I was looking at if I was gonna change it in the first place, so.
It's essentially the same calendar.
I would make the motion, we approve the 21-22 school calendar as presented.
Second, aye.
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 Well, here we are, we're back, Homewood Gym HVAC project.
I just gave you this because this is the project as it is drawn up, and just so you can see what's happening. If you, really, the first part of it is just, I can't make heads or tails, but if you look at this second to last page, it kind of shows you what you, the last 2 pages, I can kind of walk you through a little bit just to remind. I had to be kind of reminded when he came down, okay, what are we doing again? You know, cause I forgot a little
We're
bit.
not gonna have that tube like in Linden, are we?
No, actually, the ducts don't change.
Oh, thank God, because it gives me a heart attack every time we're there.
Yeah.
We love everyone at Linden, just so you know.
Yeah.
I went up to Willow Bend and they have it in there. They have 2 of them, one on each side.
So,
Just
what,
wanted to make sure I'm getting the tube.
the 2 big units on top, they're ancient, they come off the top. The mechanical room has a lot of, it has the big HVAC system that just completely gets taken out. On the stage area, there's up on that, I don't know, you probably have never been in there, but up there's some more equipment that comes out of that area up there. It's all antiquated. So that's a lot of this is demolition. Then they come back, and here's the top of the gym. They come back with two units. This is the top of the gym roof. There's a big unit there, another one over here, and this little one will run the new air quality in the on the gym area. Because right now, those people up there have the same AC and heating. Whatever the gym's set at, that's theirs, because it just ducts right. I mean, there's no differentiation on that. So there'll be a lot of duct work to replace there, and then just hook up into these units on the roof. Okay? You can ask a question, I'll try to answer it, but
I didn't even realize we had multiple.
the units on the roof of the Homewood Gym are ancient. They're like 40 years old. They need to be replaced.
Oh, this is old as me.
Patty, do you need these boxes next?
Yes, please.
I would make a motion to put the Homewood Gym HVAC project out for bid.
Second.
Aye.
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 This is the waiver.
Passing around those resolutions that everybody needs to sign.
Thanks.
3 Lakes report.
Okay, 3 Lakes, there were 5 paraeducator positions that were filled. Also 2 resignations, and there was one that transferred from Frameworks to our elementary apparently. And, let's see, 3 Lakes is continuing to pursue candidates for speech pathologist positions. Those are currently filled with contracted service providers. The IEP numbers are down approximately 40 students from the previous year. And a lot of that has to do with COVID and remote learning and other various things. Frameworks employees and students are quarantining from January 8th until January 19th.
That's died.
Due to a
I
positive
have not heard.
COVID result, they're continuing services remotely at this time. And before they go back, they're gonna consult with their new nurse, which is Lauren Fager, I think is the nurse up there, but anyway, so they're currently on quarantine up there, at least for the Frameworks programs. And that's about all I have on that.
Recreation report.
Well, we're attempting to do a rec basketball season. It's supposed to start January 23rd. Appanus, Emporia, Rec, and Mission Valley are not going to participate. Council Grove, at this point, does not have access to the elementary gym that they always use. So they're using an armory gym. They have like a National Guard armory building that they're using. They've used it for like little kids basketball, but now they're trying to use it for everything. I was told Monday, I had all the schedules out, all the towns, to our coaches, everything posted last week. And then Monday, Council Grove calls me and says that they may have to opt out due to just stuff. And so they're trying to get that figured out this week. I actually created an alternate schedule without their teams, and it does change quite a little bit. We also added Hartford into the rec league this year. Their games would be played at their high school, which they have like a new modern gym, and their goal's lower, so that would be great because they could host any age group. And then it would be a 6-week season, Saturdays. So we'll just see how it goes. All of the schools that are hosting will have guidelines essentially mirroring what the high school CASHA requirements are for attendance. Temp check-in, up to 2 parents per player, facial coverings used by everybody all the time inside, except if you're actively playing on the court. So let's see. Information went out after the first of the year for K-ball and first and second grade basketball. Talking with Troy and Lucas Boss, who kind of focuses on those. We think we can do this with minimal issues. K-ball, everything will be on Sundays starting January 24th. K-ball would be from 5 to 6. First and second grade basketball would be from 6 to 7. K-ball uses the high school gym, middle school gyms, and kind of rotates kids around. So should be enough space to social distance with the kids. First and second grade, boys are in the elementary gym, girls are in the middle school gym. So again, should be good there. We'll keep the same guidelines as we do for the other rec stuff, as far as attendance and facial coverings, etc. So kids shouldn't have a problem because they wear the mask during school, even the younger ones. So, and if that, it's just an hour and they're able to participate and play. Right now for K-ball, I've got 32 kids, pre-K and kindergarten. First, second grade boys, I've got 8. First, second grade girls, I've got 9. So we'll see. Deadline is Friday, so we'll see if that changes any. Smoke in the Spring, it's been quite an eventful month. At the time of the report, I had 50 teams committed to the contest. I now am up to 95 out of 104. So very likely I could be full next week. It's going crazy. 2 of our reps for our contest decided to retire, so we'll have 2 new reps from KCBS for this coming year. The contest is April 9th and 10th. We're crossing fingers about a full event. If not, then it'll look a lot like what it did last October. Met with the paper to kind of discuss the booklet and banners and whatnot. Let's see. I'm also, the voting for the KCBS Board of Directors ends January 16th. I'm a candidate for one of those 4 open seats, so they have a meeting on the 18th, a virtual meeting, and that's when they will announce who the 4 are. So crossing my fingers, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, supposedly there's like 20,000 plus members worldwide, so we'll see. I did get a vote from a guy in Belgium because he messaged me on Facebook over Christmas, so apparently I'm a hit in Belgium. So. But really, that's it for right now. Just trying to get into basketball, and hopefully that continues through the end of February.
Administrative reports.
I'll go ahead and go. Just wanted to give you a little bit of update on what the elementary staff did before Christmas. We did adopt 2 families from ECAP for Christmas, and I think we just end up kind of going out and getting gifts and then bringing them back wrapped and everything. And a lot of faculty members do contribute to that. Brian Stromgren's class sent Christmas cards to the Osage Nursing, Grand Villas, and Peterson's Assisted Living. I think it became kind of a project with their class. They each had to write a personal message in the cards, and then they had to address the envelopes where, a lot of kids probably don't know how to do that, so it was a really good learning experience. Berlena DeLong's fifth grade class, I think I told you guys that the last board meeting, but I wanted to update you on that. They did go Christmas caroling. I think they actually picked the 2 coldest days to go, but they did survive both days, so it went really well. District Spelling Bee, Tim and I are in charge of that. Actually, I'm in charge of it this time. It is Wednesday, January 20th at 9:30. Due to COVID and our protocols with no guests, we are not allowing any visitors or guests in the building, but we will live stream that for parents to actually see. The top 2 contestants will compete in the Osage County Spelling Bee, which will be Tuesday, February 2nd at 9 o'clock in the morning, and Burlingame is the host of the Osage County Spelling Bee. I didn't announce this last time, but one of our interrelated teachers, she had resigned. And I didn't know if he had been approved at Three Lakes, but Anthony Wonder is our new interrelated teacher in kindergarten through 1st grade. So we're excited to have him on board. I think he's gonna be a really good fit, and he is also interested in coaching, so there you go. OCES right now has 17 remote learners. We have 2 in preschool, 3 in kindergarten, 2 in 1st grade, 2 in 2nd grade, 1 in 3rd grade, 3 in 4th grade, and 4 in 5th grade. So our numbers have gone down drastically since the start of the school year. So we've basically cut that at least in half, if not more. So we're excited to have our kids back in school and hope to goodness that things continue the way they are right now. That's all I have, unless you guys have questions.
Middle school, we did our honor roll and we'll announce that to the students tomorrow, but 66% of our kids made it one of the 3 honor rolls, so we're pretty proud of that. Quiz bowl practice is starting pretty soon, and then we'll be having those meets. Those will all be virtual this year, similar to what the high school's done. It's not ideal, but it's something, and I think I haven't seen one, but I think they've been going pretty well virtually, and their kids are still able to participate in those, so that'll be good for those kids. Flint Hills Junior League basketball tournament's underway. It's kinda, with COVID and everything, just kind of see where we are on that day. We're playing at 2 different sites, Linden and West Franklin. The girls are at West Franklin, and they'll play at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then the boys will play at 6 o'clock now tomorrow at Linden. We had another team who had to drop out because of COVID, so just kind of adjusting, and just like everything this year, doing the best we can to get our kids games when we can, so. And then we'll have one more game the next week at West Franklin as of this moment. That's how I end everything right now, is as of this moment, that's exactly where we're at. So, and that's really all I got for middle school.
At the high school, we got our honor rolls in. We had 42 on the principal's honor roll. Our honor rolls are up this year. Superintendent's honor roll. Well, principal's honor roll is 3.0 to 3.49, 42 students. Superintendent honor roll is 3.5 to 3.99. That's 52 students. And then Board of Education is a 4.0, and I have 31 students on there. So our numbers are up there, and the kids are doing well. I think part of that is they're so happy to be in school, as they weren't last spring. So Flint Hills tournament is coming up next week, 18th through the 21st. We're not able to have our tournament at ESU as we have in the past. We will wait until after the games on Friday to announce where those games are at, because the higher seed's gonna host those games. So the 1 seed will host the 1 and 8 and the 4 and 5 game. And then the 2 seed will host the 2 and 7 and the 3 and 6 game. Right now our girls are seeded 1 and our boys are seeded 2. But we got a couple games yet. Well,
Friday,
maybe. I got word today that we may not be playing a boys game on Friday, but we'll play those games as best we can. And so I did hear that we'll have 2 boys team not participating in the tournament. So our boys tournament will be 6 teams. So I don't know sure how that's going to look. I'm sure there'll be some buys in there somewhere. Remote learners, we currently have 20 remote learners at the high school, and that is tremendously down from what we had at the beginning of the year. I might add that remote has not been real good for the high school. Of those 20 remote students, I have 15 of them that are failing multiple classes. So we are going to be looking at a lot of credit recovery this next semester. It has just not gone very well for some of them. Mrs. Camarita and myself have been making phone calls, setting up individual plans for these kids to recover credits, whether it's through Edgenuity, adjusting schedules, whatever we can do to try to get these kids back on track. Encouraging as many of them to come back to school, unless there's truly a COVID reason and not just because I don't want to be at school. So working with those families and trying to get them caught up or stay caught up and not fall too far behind. Spring is crazy for assessment times. So we have a lot of assessments coming up for the high school. The freshmen and sophomores will be taking their ACT Aspire this last week, the interims, this last week of January. And that's what allows us to have access to the ACT Academy. And we use that during our seminar for our college and career readiness and test prep. Juniors, they'll have their choice to take the ACT and or work keys. They can take both, or they can just take one or the other. And that's in late February. Sophomores, they'll be taking the pre-ACT. And we really give that pre-ACT so it looks like an ACT. We go down to the community building. They have that time. They have that setting. So those sophomores, once they become juniors, they're not really freaked out by that experience of having that kind of environment. So that's been a benefit. State assessments will be coming up before we know it. At the high school, math and ELA or English will be given to the sophomores, while the juniors will take the science, and that'll be the 3rd week of April. And then freshmen will also take an ACT Aspire summative in mid-April. And that summative really gives us a predictor score for how they're on track to what they might need to do their sophomore year and into their junior year, getting ready for the real ACT. So I know that's down the road a little bit, but there's a lot of planning that goes into that and a lot of prep to get ready, those kids ready for that. So at the high school, that's all I have. Unless you got questions.
Mr. Raymond, how many remote learners do you have now? Has it gone down?
Yeah, we're down to just 3 8th graders right now.
Fantastic.
So that's good, but I mean, obviously we still have kids who are on quarantine and stuff.
Beyond quarantine, right?
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a lot back who just figured out pretty quick that it wasn't gonna be as easy as they thought. So they, just like being at school only at home, so a lot of them want to come back, so we're in pretty good shape there.
Thank you guys. Anything else on this? I think we need to, with all the cancellations we're hearing about in there right now and all that, we probably need to congratulate our parents, our teachers, our staff, the entire community for helping keep our schools open. We've stayed open during this entire pandemic, and we would not have been able to do that without the help of the entire community, teachers, parents, everybody. So thanks to all of you. I would make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss certified, classified, supplemental positions pursuant to the non-elected personnel session under COMA, and the open meeting will resume in the boardroom at, what's 5 minutes from now? 7:45.
Better
With
make-
the administration be present.
Better make it 7:47.
7:47.
Second.
Aye.
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 Alright, we're back in open session. I'd make the motion, we approve the resignation of Vicky Bunger at the conclusion of the 2020-21 school year.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. I would move we go into executive session to discuss negotiation topics pursuant to the exception for employer-employee negotiations under coma, and the meeting will resume in the boardroom at 7:58 with the administration to be present.
Second, aye.
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 Aye. Back in open session.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye.